My hope though is for the fans. Like, I think they people want instant gratification. Like it's everything in our phones, our Twitter, our Instagrams, everything is like instant gratification. You can get food delivered to your doorstep in 20 minutes. Like it's just now. And I think it's just like, okay, it takes time. We're going to get there. They're busting their butts. And I think it's just like, have faith, but don't like immediately, if one bad thing happens, it's, oh, they suck, they're horrible, blah, blah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just like give them a little grace. They're building, it's like building blocks. Like you can't just like blink and be perfect.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Married to the Game. I'm your host, Maria Martin, and we are back for another episode. And today I'm going to bring you a two-parter, well, the second of two parts of Meggi Matthews, the wife of Falcons offensive lineman Jake Matthews. And wasn't she fantastic in episode 1? She gave us all of the insight as to what it's really like to be married to an NFL offensive lineman. She gave us the dynamic and how fun it is between her and Jake. And during part 2, we're going to dive into a couple different things, starting with navigating COVID with the NFL season, because we haven't really heard from their families as to how difficult it has been, especially in the beginning, because really Jake and Meggi have only been together during COVID, which is wild. So we also talk about the competitive sports nature in the Matthews household. Anybody that knows Meggi knows that she is a sports reporter, but she also used to play sports and is still incredibly competitive with her husband. So I can't wait for you to hear all about that. We're also going to learn what it's truly like to feed an offensive lineman. And yes, I'm talking about food during the season and during the offseason, two totally different things. And you're going to get a very exclusive inside look at what the Matthews household refrigerator is like. It's truly hilarious. And quite frankly, I'm a little bit jealous. Also, whether or not Jake actually opens up about football to Meggi, it might be a little bit different than you think. Here we go. Another fantastic episode with Meggi starts right now.
If he's in an away game, I hate being alone sometimes. So I'll go over and like see my best friend. My best friend's fiance is actually a coach at Nebraska.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'll pop up and see her. And we always joke that our like schedules never coordinate to actually be able to like see each other during football season.
Which is probably true.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Popping around and doing all that. And then I got COVID up there. This is a crazy story. I got COVID up there in September and left Friday, was totally fine.
Yeah.
Got there. I think we both got it together somewhere. And I mean, did the math, did everything correctly, and came home. And thank goodness I flew home prior to kickoff and didn't watch the game there.
Because oh my gosh.
I would have been getting home at the same time if I watched the game there and then flew home. Like I'm pretty strict about being home when Jake gets home, like just to kind of like have our time together on a Sunday night.
Right.
And I flew home before the game, did everything. She had called me at halftime. They were in Tampa Bay and said, hey, I tested positive. And then I went down to quarantine. Well, I was out there for 3 days. I obviously knew most likely had it.
Yeah.
And somehow, like by the grace of God, Jake,
he never got it.
And he never got it.
So did you just like quarantine in a separate part of your house?
Yeah, so we have the basement and then we have upstairs. And so like luckily both our basement and our upstairs is on 2 different air conditioning levels. So we weren't even sharing the same air.
Oh, that's perfect. See, that's probably like a whole nother dynamic. I'm glad you brought it up because I know like coaches and coaches' families and athletes' families have all been so worried about that, especially during season. You know, you don't want to be the person that takes Jake out. So I'm sure you were panicking.
It's a streak. I know. And honestly, the past 2 years, I'm like, I'm like, deep breaths, you can do this. And we've made it. And like, obviously we're pretty strict during the season, like for all the protocols and everything.
Yeah.
So like we were good, but we were definitely just a lot more careful with, you know, he got around people, but it was really tough. Cause the first year we were in like a bubble. The first year, like what was that last year? I felt like we were really in a bubble and we really didn't do much. And then this year, like obviously with the vaccines, we're venturing out, everything's fine. Falcons were 100% vaccinated. So that definitely probably did make us all feel better. Got
Yeah.
a little weird at the end of the year when,
Yeah.
but then I just threw testing out the window and was just like, all right, here we go.
Whatever,
and
right.
like, what is happening? But yeah, luckily, like, and I still joke with him. I was like, of course, I took the brunt of COVID for you, and everyone else gets to quarantine with their significant other. But like, literally, obviously, the Falcons were like, here, do X, Y, and Z. The NFL's like, I mean, I had to get like 3 negative tests through, like, I had to get 2. I got 1 at the facility before I could even see Jake. Even after quarantine, I had to get like, well, the NFL didn't like say you had to do it, but it was like, here's the, we recommend X, Y, and Z. And so obviously Jake was like, okay, we're going to do that. You need to go get 3 or 2 negative tests, whatever amount it was. And it was worth it. After 10 days, I was like, oh, there's no reason to like go and risk it again.
Right.
And then like, I even went to the point, there's a place that will come. I think Freddie Freeman did it after he had COVID, and will come and spray your entire house like an airplane. And I literally came before I even let Jake back in the house and had the entire house decontaminated.
And I mean, clearly it worked because the streak was not broken this year.
We're good. Yep. And then hopefully next year it'll be like even more,
I hope so. I hope so, because it's just been so tough on everyone. Players trying to navigate, and then you've got family trying to come in, see you, and then that's another risk. And it's just, I want it to be normal again. Eventually, I hope, but who knows?
I think we sat in the corner of my parents' house for Thanksgiving. Like holiday wise, we don't like hug. It just sucks. It's just like, we don't want to be that crazy, but like we just had to, because we were just like, we can't risk this. And an injury or something happening like that is one thing, but like something you can somewhat control. We did try to somewhat control it. So I mean, just, I'm sure what everyone else did, it sucked, but we're getting through it. Year 2 of it. And like, those are the only 2 years that I've had, like, of being with him, was like 2 COVID years.
That's
so
pretty crazy.
Such a weird dynamic, but it's definitely getting better, like, as we go on. So
Right. So hopefully even next year, it'll be even like a little bit better. That's what we hope for.
Yeah.
So what is the dynamic like between the other players' wives on the Falcons? Have you gotten to meet a lot of them yet? I know it's weird with COVID.
Yeah. So the first year we really didn't get to meet like a ton, just because, again, COVID. But this year we got to do a lot more. It was really nice. So I'm trying to think. Obviously, like, Arthur Smith's wife, fantastic, hysterical, had so much fun with her. Terry's wife, Tanya, she was amazing. Like, it was fun to meet like some of the new, staff coming in. And it's just very, very like warm and homey. They felt, everyone, I remember we went and did the Thanksgiving turkey, I'm hauling like 30-pound turkeys in with Dean P's wife, and she is an angel. So it was really fun. We finally got to kind of like away games. We kind of got to sit together. So
I love that.
We got to see more of each other. But I even think last year, like, they kind of spread us out around because they didn't want players' families with players' families. And then that's makes more, sense. It's just like the contact of how they do everything. But yeah, no, I mean, the new staff is amazing. And it's so funny. So Arthur coached under Jake's dad at Tennessee.
Oh,
it was either under, okay, wait, I could totally be wrong. It was either under or like an assistant, but he was working with O-line with Jake's dad, Bruce.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, so the relationship goes back. And so when Jake found out it was Arthur, he was really excited, and great family. And it just is such a family feel. Their little girl, Sophie, was asleep on my lap at the Christmas party this year.
So cute.
And Allison was like, do you want me to take her? And I was like, no, leave her with me. Like, I'm having all the nieces and nephews around. So I just was like, I was in heaven. I was like, I'll just sit here with her. I'm good. So it's definitely like a very, we're starting to like get to be together again, which is really nice. We'll have like the wives Bible study, and then we'll do, we did some stuff with the VA for like the baby, like we like a baby shower for the VA, and then the Thanksgiving turkey stuff. So we're finally getting back into it, which I think really just helps everybody feel really like nice and cohesive again. Just separated the first year, which no one could help. It just, I think none of us had like social contact for like a full year.
I was going to say, I'm sure they were probably extra, like you said, kind of extra careful with you guys too. So has it been a little bit hard? Cause you said these are the first 2 years that you've been married to Jake. Obviously they're COVID years, but you can't really get to know the other wives. No. Is that kind of difficult?
Yes and no. Like, like the O-line, it was a little bit easier to meet them because like Jake had like, or has buddies for both. So we could kind of like mingle among them. And I was really good friends like with Alex Mack's wife, and we got to do some stuff, but we're up in Flowery Branch. Everyone thinks like, oh, you live in Atlanta. I'm like, no, we live up in Flowery. Like some guys do, but we live in Flowery Branch because Jake's like, I want a 5-minute drive to work every day.
I get that.
Makes total sense. So my family's about an hour like north, or like, no, not north, southeast-ish. I don't know. Somewhere on the other side of Atlanta. About an hour away. So like my parents will come up a lot, but it is a little bit not lonely. And then like you're not wanting to go out and do a bunch of stuff. Like I ordered our groceries the entire first year. So meeting people, it does get a little lonely at times because you're kind of up there and it's like you have to drive into Atlanta if you want to do anything. I love Flowery Branch. It's such like a homey like suburb feel, like not in the city. I really like it. But it was definitely easier to like kind of meet the O-line wives, and anyone that lives up there, it's nice to like, hey, if you need help doing this or that, because I mean, half the time, like 7 months out of the year, I joke, I feel like I'm single or like I'm going to be a single mom. Yeah. And I mean, Jake's amazing usually to help when he's home, but it's funny, like I'll not talk to anybody all day, and then he'll come home and I'm like, and he's like, oh my gosh,
please stop talking.
Like I just want to sit and like melt, and I'm like running circles around him. And so
you've been by yourself all day. I get that.
I'm like, running my mouth to him, but what's new? In the relationship, he's so laid back.
See, he and Levi would get along a lot because I am the talker. So are you. Yes. And that's obviously what we do for a living, is talk. And so then most of the time, sometimes I'll sit there and I'll just start talking to him and he'll go, that's it. Like no reaction. And I'm like, am I talking too much? And he's like, no, it's fine. I was like, well, you didn't respond.
That's what I said. I'll be like, why didn't you say anything? He's like, I nodded. I'm like, that's not a response. Like, I need words, Jake.
And then the word is like, okay.
Like, yeah, sounds good, hon. And I'm just like, all right.
Okay, might as well just keep talking to myself.
Yes, oh my God, I just talk to myself. And then he like makes fun of me. I'll talk to the dogs, or he'll like joke and be like, do you love the dogs more than you love me? And I'm like, no, but they like, I get more attention from them than I do you during football season sometimes. So
they respond. Okay.
You're with me every day. Leave me alone. Like,
enjoy your Sonic.
Chili, cheese. They both have a cha and a cha, almost like a cha-cha. So you got the chili and the cheese, the fried onion strings, and now you're moving. You're feeling good. You're smiling a little bit.
Yeah.
The new Twisted Texan Cheeseburger and Footlong Coney. Made with crunchy fried onion strings, flavorful chili, and perfectly melted delicious cheese. Choose between a cheeseburger and a Footlong Coney. It's twisted, y'all. Try one half price in the app. Only online or in the Sonic app. Add-ons extra. Limit 1. Not good with other offers. At participating Sonic drive-ins for a limited time.
You were talking about how you played sports growing up. Obviously, Jake played sports growing up. He's still playing sports professionally. You guys have to be super competitive with each other. You already said you kind of were. Where's like the time that you find you guys are the most competitive with each other?
Oh my gosh. It's just like doing like anything little around the house, or like, and I kind of see our competitiveness like coming together now. Like, I think he's finally like, he was obviously single for the first 6 years of his career. Yeah. So he never really had to like share. And I mean, his dad is just like confidant for everything. Obviously 19 years in the league, Hall of Famer. How could he not be? So that's who he talked to like all of his career. So now I've kind of like worked my way in and been like, oh, tell me some stuff. And like, now, like I see our competitiveness, like obviously we're competitive in like little stuff here and there, but I do see it like starting to come together, like as like a team of like football, this football thing, like, he always jokes though. If I read anything online, I'm not allowed to tell him. He's like, don't tell me. There's a reason I don't do social media.
So he doesn't want to read it at all. He doesn't want to hear it.
He doesn't want to know at all. Mm-mm.
Okay. I respect that.
He just wants to like, he has his coaches obviously, and respects like what his coaches and his dad says. And he's like, at the end of the day, it matters. Like obviously what like he wants the fans to love him. Right. Like as any player does, but it's your coaches that are going to be the ones that truly coach you. Like Twitter's not going to coach you.
They try. They try.
They try to be the GMs and they try to be the coaches. But at the end of the day, like you are never going to understand until you're on the field playing. And like, even as a sports reporter, I understand so much of it, but I know I'm never going to understand to know what it feels like to pass set against one of the best, D linemen in the league. I'm never going to understand what that feels like ever. We'll never get it. But yeah, it will. So like now this competitiveness has kind of turned into like, I don't know. It's just like this little game between us of like kind of sharing the football stuff together, which is really nice. And people probably laugh. Like, I don't know. It's amazing to think, because like I don't actually even know if any of the wives really talk football with their husbands. Like, it's just not something you hear about a lot. It's like a very, like I don't even know if like some of the players on the team talk to their wives about football. It's just such like but it's like a teamwork thing. It's like that's where we get competitive with each other. And then obviously like day-to-day tasks, we get competitive in working out. Oh my gosh, how did I just forget about that? So
I was gonna say, you just texted me the other day that you were doing some off-season workout type thing.
He's crazy. When we want to go do something, I'm like, all right, can we go on this trip? He's like, yeah, are we gonna go to like a Friday afternoon to a Sunday so I can work out all week? And I'm like,
Jake.
Literally, we took 3 days off of the season. We came here, got situated. We were at Plex Saturday. We flew in Monday. We honestly would have been there sooner, but we had to fly to Dayton for some family stuff, my family stuff. And we were back on Saturday and at what it's called Plex. It's in Houston. And I love it. I started going with him during quarantine. And it's such an outlet for me too, but we go usually like 4 or 5 days a week, and it's like 2 hours, and we get up.
So you and Jake together?
Yes. Yep. I trained with him.
Were you like not so scared to do that? I would be like, I'm getting ready to die. I don't want to go.
Oh, I have videos of him like pushing me on a sled. I have videos of us doing ropes together. That's fun. It's really fun, and he'll like, come around and like say stuff to me like, damn babe, or something like that. It is really fun, and it definitely pushes me, because like we get up in the morning. He's even made me ride, like normally we drive separate. It's about 10 minutes from our house, but now we're riding together. Yeah. And I'm like, we're only riding together because I would get done in an hour and a half and it would take you 2 hours, and you want me to be there for the full 2 hours. So I was like, this is bull, Jake. I'm exhausted. I was like, I always joke I'm at my heaviest weight during the off season, because like in Georgia, no weight. And because I forget to eat lunch. Here, it's square meal for breakfast, a snack, a square meal for lunch, square meal for dinner, because like he's eating, every single day at home, and like feeding him is a whole nother story. So I can't imagine. I like kind of compare it to like the pregnancy eating, like how the husband's like, well, I get the sympathy pregnancy eating weight. Okay, well, I get the sympathy off-season eating weight. I just eat all the time with him. I think I literally got on this and had a snack, but
yes, Cheez-Its.
Yes. So we like definitely competitive there. I, playing softball, like I have videos of us both throw the football together. I literally threw my back out of Plex the other day because I wanted to do old softball drills, overextended, threw my middle back out. I was like bent over. I was like, okay, I've hit retired old level. But definitely, like I worked out like that when I was reporting and by myself, but never, I worked out, but never like to what we do now. And it's actually really
I'm
cool.
sure.
Because a lot of we train with a lot of the pros, and I feel like sometimes there's a couple of girls in there, but it's a really fun thing. Our off-season routine is get up, have breakfast, coffee in the morning together, have some like quiet time with each other and read, and then we are on our way to Plex together and do a 2-hour workout. And then like I joked with him and like with these crazy eyes maybe a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you're stuck with me for 4 months attached to this. Like I literally will not let him out of my sight. And like I'm like, you're stuck with me, you're not leaving, I don't get any of you. And it's like mentally too, like I don't think they really see it, but they're so focused and exhausted during football season that like mentally I get like a whole nother version of him. But like again, the sacrifices I make during the season, are nothing compared to like what it takes him to be the person he is. Like he's making the most sacrifices. Like, you may not get him mentally and physically all the time, but like, it's like kind of what you have to sacrifice if, it's just the dedication it takes to be at that level. I joke with him. I'm like, so what's it like going up against, and I'll name off like a few of the top DNs in my head. And he's like, hun, to tell you every single week is hard. Like we're in the NFL, every single week it's somebody incredible. And he's like, you may think like this guy's really great, but then this other guy who you think like, oh, they're very good, comes out with some random move that you have no idea you're expecting. He's like, it's literally every single week. There's nobody easy. No one.
There's no breaks.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I just the mindset he has, he's just such a, I don't know, he's such an even keel person, and I don't know how he is. Like he doesn't like, I'm like, is there like a switch that you flip when you like get on the field? Like just curious. Like obviously we think of these things as reporters, but we don't. Sure. When it's your husband, it's just like, I know you on such a different level. Like, do you like completely switch or something? And he's like, no. He's like, he jokes. He's like, honestly, the one time that I've gotten like, you know, amped up and like someone's kind of amped me up during a play, he's like, I got a false start the next one because I was off my game. I wasn't calm.
So he's never going to do that again.
No, he's like, yeah, he's like, that's what happens when I'm not just like my calm, even keel. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes you even more of a psycho that you can be that calm, even keel, like,
and be as good at what he does.
I know. Everyone will be like, Jake makes it look so easy. And I'm like, okay, well, I can tell you, and he will tell you it is not. Like, appreciate it, but no.
And I commend you because you have a really good mindset, because you've said something interesting that I don't think maybe any of my guests have so far, that, you know, the sacrifices that you make, which, you know, everybody knows being a player's wife, being a coach's wife is not easy. And it's definitely not easy 365 days a year. But I like that. I like what you said, that it doesn't even amount to the sacrifices that he made. Before I let you go, because I could talk to you forever, you did bring up something that I can't believe I didn't think of before. So Jake, obviously I'm going to tell everybody this in the beginning of the podcast, that he's an offensive lineman, a starting offensive lineman for the Falcons. He probably eats a lot.
Yeah.
And you talked about the food, and that, you know, making sure that he eats the right things during season is obviously going to be a challenge for anybody. Tell me a little bit, try to give me like a glimpse as to what this means in the Matthews household during the season.
Okay. So yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm a cook. Naturally, I love to cook and bake. So
that's a good thing.
During quarantine, I was making him all these like top-notch breakfast, and then like it kind of tapered off when it like we got out of quarantine, and he was like, "Where'd this go?" And I'm like, "Dude, you get dinner.
Sorry.
That's enough." So yeah, I cook like 4 or 5 meals during the week. He was actually like quite scrawny in high school. He was a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a quarterback, and they said, hey, you can play quarterback on JV, or you can start on varsity as a freshman at right tackle. And Jake's like, I want to start on varsity. So he started working out, worked out, like he never got in trouble. He was at the gym all the time, worked out twice a week, put on the weight. So naturally, he's not like, he calls it dumpy.
Oh my God.
Which is like, he's not like pudgy. So I always say he like looks like a tight end left tackle, like very built nicely.
Yeah.
So to keep that up, like I don't want it's hilarious. He'll like get in midseason and be like, I look dumpy, like not as whole, like I'm like, he honestly might murder me for saying that, but it's fine. So because it's hilarious and it's such a good word.
Funny. It is so funny.
So he will. I try to keep him on some like low cholesterol stuff. Like obviously he doesn't have to worry about any of that yet, but like I'm like, okay, if you're wanting to snack, like I want to keep you on good healthy stuff. I have. I'm like the home edit freak. Like all his closet is color coordinated.
Did you do all that? Obviously, right?
All of it. The first 3 weeks I was in quarantine. The third week I went in and his closet was a mess. Crap everywhere. I color coordinated all of it, and I think that like sealed the deal for him. And he was like, "All right, I'm in." So I need to like post it on Instagram, like my pantry and my fridge, because it is crazy.
Yeah, you do.
I will literally send you a picture.
Okay, good.
So I have cut fresh fruit, carrots, dips, fresh like sweet peppers, like all this fresh produce, because my thought is like, okay, if it's easy for him to grab, he's not going to sit there and cut peppers and sit there and like cut strawberries and go eat them. But if it's easier for him to literally grab the container out, grab the dip, go sit down on the couch. I joke, he literally comes in from work and he'll have a container of carrots, 1 container of snacks, another, he's like piled it up to go sit on the couch with it, but they're all really good, healthy snacks.
Right. So it's fine.
Dinner like 5 nights a week. I'm Italian, so like I've gotten really into, I make all of our pasta, like fresh pasta. I'll send you a video of it, but like I do all of our fresh pasta. I'll roll it out. I'll freeze the dough. So we always have fresh pasta. And then,
oh my gosh, where's my invite?
I know you should come. I literally make pasta all the time. And then when his family comes, it's so funny. I'm now the designated chef for everybody. So I literally make 3 pot pies, like 3 pans of chicken Parmesan. Like it is, I cook all the time. Jake, you can actually all the time. We have a ranch like that we go to with family, and I'm always the one that like coordinates the meals. Like I have to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm cooking all of them. So he eats very well. He does eat a lot, but it is all fairly healthy because that's my thing. I'm like, okay, well, I know you have to eat like a lot of it, but I just don't want it to be full of crap. And I think he feels like great with it. But I mean, yeah, we have like the mini ice cream cones from Trader Joe's. Like I'll joke, I hit Trader Joe's once a week and I hit Publix once a week. And I am probably buying like 3 times the amount that I was when I was single.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's just good. It's just like, and that's why I joke that I'm at my heaviest.
You're not, you're crazy. But
yeah.
All I know is that I'm coming over for dinner now.
Yeah, you should. It's just like trying to like for me, I look at it as like a job. Like I want to feed him where he's like properly fueled.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Falcons do a great job there. They have fantastic catering. So like he eats at work great, but like, I'm like, I have to keep you fueled. Like this is my job.
Enjoy your Sonic.
Chili, cheese. They both have a cha and a cha, almost like a cha-cha. So you got the chili and the cheese, the fried onion strings, and now you're moving. You're feeling good. You're smiling a little bit.
Yeah.
The new Twisted Texan Cheeseburger and Footlong Coney. Made with crunchy fried onion strings, flavorful chili, and perfectly melted delicious cheese. Choose between a cheeseburger and a Footlong Coney. It's twisted, y'all. Try one half price in the app. Only online or in the Sonic app. Add-ons extra. Limit 1. Not good with other offers. At participating Sonic drive-ins for a limited time.
Obviously, this is a new coaching staff for the Falcons, and it's kind of a new time for the Falcons. And you know, they were close. They almost snuck into the playoffs. It was really, really close. And I think that, you know, Arthur's doing a great job there. A great job so far, obviously. Do you feel like there's a new sense of energy kind of around the fan base and just in general, just from your perspective?
I hope so. Around the fan base, like definitely the players, I see it. Like the guys, like Jake was so excited to like go into work, and like he has really gelled so well with the staff. And I mean, he led his O-line coach, and he loves Art, and I mean, adores them. Like he just, okay, maybe adore is like a girl word, but really enjoys them. And I think that, you know, he felt like the leader in the room, oldest guy on the line. He like jokes that he's ancient. And I'm like, you're actually like getting better with age. It's like a fine wine, in my opinion. Like you just keep like, going. And so I definitely think like, my hope though is for the fans. Like, I think they like, you know, people want instant gratification. Like it's everything in our phones, our Twitter, our Instagrams, everything is like instant gratification. You can get food delivered to your doorstep in 20 minutes. Like it's just now. And I think it's just like, okay, it takes time. We're going to get there. They're busting their butts. And I think it's just like, have faith, but don't like immediately, if one bad thing happens, it's, oh, they suck, they're horrible, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Just like give them a little grace. They're building, it's like building blocks. Like you can't just like blink and be perfect. And I think it's just like, we're stepping. So like have that faith, like it's a great coaching staff. I think it is like, I think we're going to be fantastic. I think there's a lot of things behind the scenes that fans don't get. So like, if there's one decision that you don't like, don't jump and be like, oh, I hate this person needs to be fired. Because at the end of this is my favorite thing to like say to fans. And this is, as a reporter, I see this too. I stutter on words all the time. It's like a natural thing. You go to work and you probably make a mistake. I go to work and I make a mistake.
Everyone does.
Just because they're on a stage that's so big and they're watched under a microscope doesn't mean that they're not allowed to make mistakes. I understand that like classifies them as like good or bad. I get that. But like, how would you, a normal fan go to work and do something, and then their boss came in and said, or not their boss, but actually not even their boss, because sometimes the coaches aren't even saying like you did this wrong, but just an innocent bystander on the street that isn't in the office with you, isn't understanding what's going on, doesn't see what you're doing every day, but just comes in off the street and says, you suck, you deserve to be fired, you deserve to not have a job, you're a horrible person because you made one mistake. That people don't understand why you made it, how you made it. Is it the play that was called? Is it because you made it? Because they don't get it. So why, if you don't want that to happen to you, don't immediately go, now I'm saying, okay, yeah, if you've made 10 mistakes and it's kind of bad and you want to say something, we get it. Right. We get it. But just don't jump to like one decision that one coach has made or one player has made or something and be like, you suck, you deserve to be fired, you're a terrible person. Because like we live in a world of mistakes. Literally, we literally live in the biggest world of mistakes. And so it's just like, I don't know, that's just where I get it. I'm just like, let's have some grace. Like grace is my word this year. Grace is like my word for myself, my word for just grace. It's just a mistake. You know, it's not, did it end your life? Did it end somebody else's life? Did it severely impact somebody? Sure. Did it severely impact your mood and you're mad that they lost? Probably. But, you know, I just like, again, innocent bystander on the street coming into your office, getting in your face and telling you, you deserve to be fired.
That's basically what it is.
Right. Yeah. Of course they subject themselves to it because that's the stage that they're on. And I understand they get to pay the money that they get paid. And you know, I get that, but like at the same time, they're human beings. They are human beings with emotions and feelings and pains. And I guarantee you beating them up on Twitter about something that they made a mistake about, I guarantee it's 50 million times worse in their own brain when they go home because they know that their job could be on the line. Every single day that every one of them go to work, their job is on the line.
Yeah.
And you can make a mistake in your job and your job's actually not on the line. Think about how much less pressure that is on you.
I know. And I don't think people really realize that. So I think like, especially you bringing light to that is so important because also people just feel so much more comfortable behind a keyboard. So it's a little bit different. You know, they feel like they can say whatever they want because they don't actually have to say it to somebody's face. So it's a little bit different.
Love the fans. Don't get me wrong.
We know you do.
We have great fans. I love them. That is a blanket statement for all fans across all platforms of professional sports. Let me just put that disclaimer in there.
No, for sure. It's not just Falcons fans, it's sports fans in general. And the Falcons fans are great because the diehards have been there and they're riding with the team through a rebuild, if that's what we want to call it. So that's super exciting.
Hopefully we'll just be great next year.
Hopefully so. I mean, like I said, super close, like almost snuck into the playoffs. So, you know. Who knows? Okay, so Meggi, I appreciate you as always. It was great to see you. You guys enjoy the off season, and I will talk to you soon.
Okay, here's the change. Thank you.
Isn't it just so awesome hearing not just about Meggi and Jake, because clearly they're incredible people, but Jake's dad, Bruce, who, if you guys don't know, he's a Hall of Fame offensive lineman. And for Jake to be able to have him during the season is really useful and obviously incredible. Such a cool family dynamic that they have. And for Meggi to impress Bruce when they first met is just so awesome. Also, I really hope Meggi was serious when she invited me over because that fresh pasta situation, that's got my name all over it. I'm serious, Meggi. I'm probably going to text you within the next 10 minutes of you listening to this and reminding you that there is a plate with my name on it in your kitchen. Wishing Jake and Meggi such a wonderful off season. Can't wait to see what happens for them next. And obviously wishing them a great season coming up as well. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Maria Martin, and this is Married to the Game.